many Windrush cases coming to my attention. But of course I am aware of the issues, I am aware of the topic, I am aware of how seriously it's affected many of our communities, to do with people that came from the Commonwealth countries and during that Windrush generation. My own parents are from that Windrush generation, both my father, who's Guyanese, my late father, and also my mother, who's Jamaican. I actually had an uncle that wasn't let back into the country from Jamaica because of the very Windrush issues where they shut the door on him. He's since passed away, and it's a real struggle for the family to pull together the information and the papers and the details which is needed to follow through with the compensation scheme. So the Windrush scandal and the inequalities and the discrimination arising from that has affected my extended family personally. If any cases have come to my attention in my constituency, then I've got some really good solicitors that have made themselves known to me that I'm able to pass them on to. What I would say, and I'm going to speak about some of the work that I've been doing, I'm going to speak about a little bit about Labour policy, and I'm going to open it up for any questions and answers that you have for me, but just staying on Windrush for a little bit longer. David Lammy and Diane Abbott really did hit the nail on the head with the arising from the hostile environment that the Tory party created. And that really took the roof off the ceiling to highlight what was happening and what the government were doing. The government, I would say, haven't improved. You know, the review that was done and the recommendations that came out of it, the Home Secretary, Cyrilla Braverman, has just rolled back on not fulfilling 2 of the recommendations. It's a very live issue, it's very real. The actual compensation scheme is too bureaucratic, there's too much paperwork to do. There has been restrictions on how much money people can receive back. You know, although money is good for compensation, absolutely that's the right thing to do. But the emotional trauma it's caused and the emotional pain, and if you think about it, when people came in from into the country, the first generation, there's these levels of discrimination they were met with. You know, the first generation, when it's our grandparents, great grandparents, or people that are here, you know, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs, not being able to renting properties, but the worst conditions, not being able to get the jobs or the promotion, or there's been so many issues of fights that had to be fought, and so many breakthroughs that first generation has done to make the way better for us coming forward and for other immigrants coming into the country. So much was done. That we are thankful for them leading the way. We're thankful for them having done that. But that experience, it's almost like it's a big old double jeopardy. You know, you've gone through that experience already, and now you're being told that you have no right to stay in the country, when actually the Commonwealth were British when they came into the country. When they arrived in the country, they were British citizens. So they had every right to stay, every right to be here. And it was just that the law changed, and the law kept on changing, and the law was discriminating against them, and we know that's wrong. And when there are conversations in Parliament, Matt contributes to those conversations, I contribute to them, but there's still more to be done in speaking up for the Windrush era, the Windrush generation. And what I would say, I was speaking to somebody yesterday from an organisation called British Futures, which I thought was very interesting. And for those that may know Patrick Vernon, he's behind this. He speaks very much, speaks up about the Windrush generation and the richness of the contributions that the Windrush generation and generations that have followed have contributed to our country. And one of the things that he's pursuing with his organisation is very much to make sure that the 75th anniversary is this June, and to make sure that events are taking place across our country and that we keep this history alive. You know, because our Windrush generation are getting older, you know, and I think it's very much for the Labour Party, but very much for the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth generations, keeping that Windrush generation alive, the history, and the